It's been fun to watch those guys kind of muster up and re-get that thing back that they had when they won a national championship at Villanova. It's been fun to watch. Now, Knicks fans, as I told y'all, I saw good friend Al, Jeff. These guys are stout. These guys are talking about the Knicks. And Al, number one, Al goes, I've told my wife for years, none of the kids can get married in June because Knicks in the NBA Finals, I'm not going to be there. I'm going, like, I've been waiting for all of these years for the Knicks to win the finals. I'm like, Al, they're not going to win in your lifetime. I'm sitting there joking and messing with Al. He's like, Draymond, you stop it, da, da, da. And we go on and on. However, I said all of that to say the excitement that Knicks fans have about winning this round one series is hilarious. It's great for the sport. It's super fun as a fan of the game. I think it's hilarious, but I think it's super fun to watch their enthusiasm. Like, Knicks fans are absolutely insane about the Knicks. And, you know, I'm sitting there watching these guys talk about these series and what happens if the Knicks make the finals and all of these things. And the passion for that team is unlike many things I've ever seen. Like, the passion that Knicks have for the team almost rivals like the passion that European soccer fans have for their clubs. It's very, very, very interesting to watch. And man, I sat and I laughed. I couldn't get around it. And so I just wanted to say to you Knicks fans, I still don't think y'all have a chance at winning a championship. I told Al this. I told Jeff this. I love the basketball that those guys are playing. It's very fun to watch. I'm not exactly sure when the expiration date is. I don't think it'll come in this series. I think they'll handle this series pretty easily. And then the expiration date is next series. But for the time being, Knicks fans, enjoy it. There hasn't been much else for you guys to cheer for over the years, so I get it. Enjoy every single second of it, because although I'm rooting for my man Dante and Tibbs and Earn, I just don't think y'all stand a chance. That's just my opinion, Knicks fans. Y'all don't have to go at me. Quite frankly, I know y'all are used to it, so that's just that. And I'm going to move on from that. However, that is the Jalen Brunson I want to see. Moving forward in this series, they're going to need more of that Jalen Brunson, not just trying to get his, but making sure everybody else get involved, then take over. And Indiana Pacers are going to need a much more aggressive, much better Halliburton. And although I don't think it happens this year, but if Hallie ever wants to become the player that I think he's capable of becoming, that I believe he thinks he's capable of becoming, at some point he's going to have to start defending on or competing on the defensive end. Like, you just can't be a zero on the defensive end and think you're going to be an elite player in this league and win at an elite level. Have to give some effort. And with, like, Hallie's 6'7". Like, you can get in passing lanes. It don't necessarily mean you got to be a lockdown defender, but you have to do something. You got to make rotations. Like, there was a couple plays where he's coming from the corner and, like, he's the next rotation of Dante. Dante hits a three on the left wing. Hallie's late on the rotation. It's like those things. Like, I'm not saying you got to sit down and lock a guy up, but those types of things, if you want to win championships and be great, your best player have to do those. Because when you do those things, A, guys will run through a wall for you, and B, you can hold other guys accountable. And if you can't hold guys accountable, then y'all can't win at any level. If you can't hold guys accountable, your best player can't hold the guys accountable because they lack effort on one side of the floor, so they're not allowed to hold the other guys accountable. You can never win that way. And so Hallie's going to have to make some big strides in that area as he continues to move forward, because I think he got a chance to be special. But if he wants to be special in the way that you have to be special in this league these days, which is you have to win. You have to win. If you're not winning, there's an expiration date on what people believe or see of you as a top player in this league. And Hallie's big thing is going to be he's going to have to compete on the defensive end. And right now, that ain't going to bode well for them because everybody on the Knicks team is live. Everybody's looking to go. So you can't hide nowhere. And I think that's an important thing for them, an important thing in his growth as he moves forward. Before we get into these mailbag questions, we'll just go over these or speak on these couple games, couple series that we have started. Number one, Celtics versus Cavs. I got Celtics in 5, only because the Celtics usually trick some game off. But the moral of the story is the Cleveland Cavaliers don't stand a chance. So I got Celtics in 5 just because they do their typical thing. But the reality is this series should be done in 4, but it'll go 5, in my opinion. Not spending much time there because I don't think there's much to talk about. Celtics going to kick their ass. And moving on. Now, this is a fun series. Dallas and OKC is going to be fun as hell. You got 2 MVP finalists. You got that man, Kyrie Irving. You got by the way, I think Kyrie Irving is as good of a number 2 in the NBA as you can find. And then you have Jalen Williams, who I think could be poised to be as good of a number 2 as you can find. Is he ready to take that step versus Kyrie right now? Kai, animal. And I personally got Dallas winning this series. And I actually got Dallas winning this series in 5. 6 at best. And the reason I have Dallas winning that way is because I just don't think OKC is big enough for Dallas. Dallas has length. When you look at PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford and Luka, they also have girth. OKC has length, but they're mostly skinny guys. I think Dallas' physicality in this series will actually make the difference. They're as good, if not better, offensively. I don't think Dallas is better defensively, but with their length and with their physicality, I think that will make them better defensively. And so I got Dallas taking this series and then eventually matching up with the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. But I think this will be a fun series to watch. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Dallas matches up. And the reason I think it'll be, how OKC matches up. And the reason I think it'll be interesting because OKC normally puts Lou Dort on the best player. And I think it'll actually be smarter for OKC to put Lou Dort on Kyrie. Luka gonna do what Luka does. If you can put Lou Dort on Kyrie to make it tough on Kai, by the way, making it tough on Kai, he can still give you 30, possibly 40. But my point is, that's who you need to stop. Luka gonna do what he do. You need to try to affect Kyrie. And the only person on their roster that I think is capable of doing that is Lou Dort. Now, Jalen Williams, if he's ready to take on that challenge, he has great length, has great agility, 6'8". You should be willing to take on that challenge of guarding Kai. And if I'm him, I'm begging for that because I want to show you all that I'm ready to take that next step as far as that goes.